Most companies don't fully grasp what legacy system modernization is because a lot of companies that sell those services pitch it as enhancing your user experience or giving you a tool to do XYZ that's going to save all this time. But the main thing to really hone in on with legacy system modernization is actually a three-layered approach. Layer one is the one that most people fully understand. It's the one you can see. It's your website, it's your app, it's your visual dashboards that's pulling data from your KPIs and putting it in a nice, easy to read format. It's the layer that makes it seem like everything's okay. Unfortunately, the next two layers is actually where all the problems arise. Layer number two is the data and architecture layer. So this is where all of your company's data and the tools that your departments are using for your core functions are actually storing that data, and they're using it to make decisions and marketing campaigns and cost savings exercises, etc. This is one of the key components of legacy systems modernization that people miss because you don't see it. And this is where AI is not going to be able to work effectively, because if your data isn't consistent and it doesn't speak to one another, then the AI can't easily grab it and understand what that data is about. And then layer three is definitely not the fun stuff, but it's documentation, processes, SOPs, easy enough for humans to execute on manually, but also simple enough in a structural format that an AI can read an SOP or a tree of documents within your company's knowledge center and can understand how to do given tasks. So everything has to be documented, organized neatly, so that a human can easily execute on these processes. And more importantly, if it's structured properly and you got deep linking within your company knowledge, AI can access that and know how to do a function in a couple minutes, maybe even seconds, if everything's linked properly and it knows where to get the information. So what does done in an engagement like legacy system modernization actually look like? Well, first we have to define what done is. So there's a phase that we like to call that's discovery and planning. And this is where we work with the key stakeholders that want to be a part of this project, whether it's, a CFO or a COO or a CMO, that all they are over certain tools and they're responsible for certain data and KPIs. And we figure out how they're working, what they're working in, if there's any pain points. And we really understand the landscape of your business's tools and how the team is currently working and accessing the data right now. The things we're going to be looking for is, can Department A easily send data or communicate with Department B? Is everybody using the same tools for project management or submitting and escalating tickets within your organization? Are all these things centralized, or are there individual siloed protocols like Slack or Teams channels, or emailing so-and-so when this happens? All of that stuff needs to be systematized and structured, so we're going to be asking about all those scenarios. And then we'll ask about the governance piece. How are you using AI now, and are you governing it in any way? Or do you have all your employees, like, they're only allowed to use Claude through your organization's platform? Or do you have employees that are out there with their own AI accounts doing rogue things with your processes and data that you don't actually have visibility into because they're using their own accounts? Which that's actually happening a lot more nowadays in 2026 than we've ever seen. Like, that's always been an issue. IT gatekeeps tools, teams to go outside of those guardrails. Well, now with AI, it's a bigger risk. Teams are going outside of those guardrails and they're using AI in their personal accounts, and not only is them working in your organization more valuable, but it's also safer because your IT team or whoever's over your AI account can start to lock certain things down, and they can't control what your employees are putting into their employee-owned accounts. So how does AI really change the game here? And how does legacy modernization tie to AI? Well, AI doesn't care if your website looks flashy. AI doesn't care if you have a beautiful dashboard that's put together once a week from data points from all over different places, and you got people shuffling around, and that's a nice looking dashboard that gets released every week. AI only cares about the structure and the effort it takes to get that information. So you have to make it structured in a way that AI can get the information it needs to perform the task that it needs to perform in the shortest, most painless way possible. The AI companies now are starting to introduce overage limits, and people are tying in directly to the APIs, and like API usage is through the roof because team members don't fully understand how to prompt an AI agent to do something efficiently, and you're wasting what's called tokens, and it just runs up your bill. It almost like makes the cost savings on the front end of like AI on saving time actually not even really worth it at the end, because now you're paying software fees and cloud API usage and all this other stuff because it's not working effectively. So that's why this is so important right now. Everybody wants to move to AI for efficiencies, but not everybody can get there fast. Again, it's dangerous if you're going really fast. I don't want to be the doom and gloom guy, but if you got rogue employees and people are just implementing AI left and right, and you already know you have a problem with process, quality, and data talking to one another, you can assume that the AI that's going on in your organization is actually making things worse. If all of this sounds of interest to you and you want to continue the conversation through the lens of your business, click the link in the description below and we will go through a discovery call with you to talk about what's going on in your business, where you're using AI and where you feel stuck, and exactly what we would do to start to get you in the right direction and actually start getting some results from AI and feel more comfortable with the investments that you're either making or being pitched every week on how to get better with AI, etc.